Okay, so we have our gameplay settings. Now we're going to open up a world and we're going to see about some of the world settings that we're going to look at.
Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at getting into your world. So what you want to do is we're going to hit this play button and this screen kind of pops up on you and you're kind of like, oh, what's all this cool fancy stuff? And so there's a couple buttons that we're going to want to take a look through. There's the create new world, where we'll eventually get there. Join worlds, a bit more advanced for our sessions, but that's where you would have your students join your world. But I want to show this one right here really quickly. This is your view library. What's really cool about your view library is that you have lessons already created for you. You have different biomes and worlds of like things that are that Minecraft that actually already made. So if you wanted to find like the rainforest, you're like, oh, it's probably in here, which is really cool. If you want to learn more about how to play this game, click on the how to play this game. There's tutorials for you to actually play around and fiddle. So if there's things in this video that we haven't shown you, just go right in here and play that game. So that's in the library button. But the one that we're really going to look at is this create new. So we're going to create a new, and I want you to go and click on templates. So I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to let you do that, and then we'll come back. Welcome back. So hopefully you are on this screen. You may not actually have any templates up here. The reason why I do is because I use them all the time. Yours will probably be down here that says view more templates. So we're going to click on the plus sign and you're going to click on blocks. You're going to search for blocks of grass. Normally if you just type in blocks, it'll probably come up. This is the world that we're going to load. Now the reason why I load this world, Darren, is because it's flat. And I love flat worlds because it has nothing in it. It's just this literally 2 or 3 deep world that kids don't get confused in.
Yeah, especially if you do stuff like coding or teleporting or learning how to play the game. It's great to get them in this nice flat world.
So we're going to pause for a minute. I'm going to let you create that world, and then we'll see where it goes.
All right, so John's world is loaded. I like your random chicken. It's great.
The random chicken. So before we actually get into play, I want to kind of show us some of the settings. Remember we talked about settings before? This is the second place where you're going to find your settings, and it's going to make your gameplay a little bit more. We're going to hit the escape button, your ESC. And when I hit the escape button, my little avatar pops up, and I can actually move my mouse around finally. So if that's the other thing. I know often people are like, I can't get out of here. So you want to hit escape, and then you can move your mouse. And you'll see that settings button right here. Inside of settings, you'll see the same thing that we saw, the accessibility features, game, keyboard, controller, whatever we want. But this game is new. This one wasn't there before. And so you'll see here, there are different types of worlds that we can be in. So for example, survival, creative, and adventure. Survival is what your kids and the students are probably used to playing. They're like, they get into the world, they have to create, they have to be able to survive for the night. The zombies are out, right, Darren? That's what they love. They love the zombies.
Creepers.
But for education, creative is kind of like the best place to be in because you get everything possible. So make sure that you're in creative when you're doing a lot of your worlds. But you know that you can switch back and forth. The other thing that's kind of interesting is that if you have students joining you, you can actually change them to just visitors, meaning they just get to walk around. So if you have, sometimes you have to talk to certain students about breaking things or disobeying some of the rules that you've set in place, visitor is always fun to do. Member, obviously they can change things, and an operator means they're like you as a teacher. And then finally, I always like to turn on the show coordinates. Yeah. Such an important one, right, Darren?
Absolutely. It lets you know where you are in the world because getting lost in Minecraft is huge. So
it's quite big. Yeah. So you'll notice that there are coordinate grid systems that are in there, your X, Y, and Z planes. And so that's always important to have. As well as I always like turning on always day. Yeah. Because I also don't get the annoying kids saying, hey, it's raining. I'm like, it's digital. But if it's always day, the rain and everything won't happen throughout your code. So those are the two that I like to turn on. And then everything else is still the same. So if you need your view bobbing, that's in video. Your audio is there as well. And then you can exit out. Now I'm going to give you a challenge. We're going to walk around inside of Minecraft. And you'll notice that on my screen, it actually tells you the cheat sheet. So W is going forward, S is going backwards, A is going left, and D is going right. If you feel really comfortable, you can jump or fly. So flying is kind of fun. Just by hitting your space bar or your shift key brings you back down.
Yeah. And as you can see, if your controls are not there, you might want them on there with the H key on Jonathan's. Is that standard, John? H for everyone needing the controls?
Yeah, H hides it. You can also find that in your settings button as well. So in the keyboard and mouse section, it'll say hide keyboard and mouse hints. So you can turn this on. This is turned on. As well as if anything's not working, remember before we talked about clicking on the button and you can change buttons around inside of there. But I do like my hints on always.
Yeah. Perfect. So we're going to walk around the world and just get used to navigating and possibly flying if you want a little challenge.